welcome to another edition of XFeed. What's up? My name is Schiller. I got an email today that was of somebody that is doing different like faceless YouTube channels and made a comment about how the future might just be faceless. So real me, hello, behind the camera, but with no camera on. We'll see how this does. Thanks for joining. Let's get into it. There's so much content to consume. Let's start with things that you wouldn't expect to see on your timeline.
As world's highest record holder, I expect Bitcoin is going to $220,000 in the next 45 days. I will use 100% of my Bitcoin profit to build churches for Jesus Christ in every nation.
All right. So like legitimately, this is somebody that the Pudgy Penguins brand had as like an advisor. He's the world's top IQ holder and making that comment about the market. We're going to get into some other shenanigans, but that's just a little bit of a taste of what today's episode is going to be about. Bunya, I saw this across my timeline. Look at the art on these. I just love when people are just that dang talented. And I felt like we needed to highlight that. So shout out to Bunya because that looks sweet. And for their actual website, look at this. Look how sleek and cool this is. And they even have a soundtrack. Don't you just feel like you're in an experience? Absolutely love it. Let's continue on. What does Persona have for us today? Just craziness. So this looks like it's going to be an AI tool where you're able to take your character and it will make it into various anime forms. Insane. I'd consume a Domino's lava cake right now. Yo, I'd be hella down to order food. Have you looked at how insane, how absolutely insane the prices are on DoorDash? You think for a second, all right, this is only like an extra $1 per item, and then somehow there's extra fees, and then whenever you go to the final thing, you got the delivery fee on top of it. The $1 million invention is coming up with a cheaper variation of DoorDash. But Persona, part of some of the tools, or I should say companies that are giving tools to holders to create something sort of unique with what's going on. We got some news about some K-pop groups coming over to Abstract. So I am hella curious what is going to happen with that, as we've seen different industries or genres of things, I guess, for a different variant on the descriptive word, find maybe a little bit of a struggle to find a footing within the Web3 market. Raymond, you're not a fan? Yeah. So I don't know. Personally, like, that doesn't get me out of bed, but like, what is this? So we're excited to introduce official Artems, the winner of Billboard's the 25 Best K-Pop Songs of 2024, Hanteo Music Awards 2024 Emerging Artist Award, Mnet Asia Music Awards 2025 Fans Choice Female Group, all of Artem's fan engagement, including the Cosmo app, digital photo cards, and voting, will be powered by Abstract's crypto rail. So that's unique. I think that's absolutely something to follow, and we'll see if this is maybe one of the first signs of some sort of major adoption. We got Pudgy Penguins being used in ads all across the globe. Check this out.
Let's keep things the same. The same gatekeepers deciding who gets to raise capital. The same private investments reserved for the well-connected. The same middlemen charging more while offering less. The same banks that take days and a fee to move your money. Sick of the same? Same. Solana is laying the foundation for internet capital markets, a new system where value moves instantly and opportunity is global by default. Anyone with a phone can raise capital, invest, or trade 24/7. That's freedom rewired on Solana. Get exposure to Solana's price return and staking rewards through the VanEck Solana ETF. Search the ticker VSOL.
The Pudgy Penguin brand proliferates. And then I seen this on my timeline. The AI dollar is live. Today, we bring the AI and robotics infra economies on chain, get AID and SAID, and earn real yield. What in the hell is this? Also, give it credibility or not, but it's got 200,000 followers.
It is time to think, truly think, about the path we are on.
When Thomas J. Watson told his employees to think, machines were built to make logic visible. Then we learned to think different. From desktops to cloud, from code to creativity. We built machines that could imagine with us. But the infrastructure has been solely owned by corporations. Gaib changes that. By funding and connecting the GPUs that fuel AI, we decentralize the infrastructure into something anyone can own. The world runs on compute. Now, compute runs for you. It's time for the world to think again. Gaib.
Okay, so the question with this, Raymond saying, I don't want those two products, but that ad is good for the Pudgy one. Hell yeah. It's funny to watch these back to back to back like this. And just like the stark difference of, okay, one's engaging, one's cool. And then on top of like, all right, does this like sell me on whatever it is? Because I don't know if I really like get what it is, but it's about AI infrastructure, robotics, and compute. So the whole narrative mind space, at one point it was AI. Now people are calling for robotics to be the big deal. And some unfortunate news from DappRadar. After 7 years, it's time to say goodbye. We've made the difficult decision to shut down the DappRadar platform. Running a platform of this scale became financially unsustainable in the current environment, and after exploring every option, we had to make the difficult decision to wind things down. Now what? We'll still continue to read the rest of what's going on here, but to note, they say like, and after exploring every option, but when they made this announcement, there was a fair amount of people that said, hey, like, how do we keep making you guys survive? Like, how can we help out? And there was a ton of outreach, and I don't just mean from like the community that used it. I mean, other businesses and entrepreneurs, whatever. So maybe there's a chance that this comes back. We'll see him. When we started back in 2018, the space was still at the beginning. A few early decentralized apps, a few curious builders, and a lot of open questions about where decentralized applications might go. Inspired by CryptoKitties, we built DappRadar to help people discover and understand this new world. We've been through bull markets and bear markets. We're proud to have helped millions of users discover dApps, do research, and learn through our content. We worked with hundreds of blockchains and thousands of developers and projects. Our data was cited by journalists, used in research papers, and shared in languages across the world. Blockchain can often feel chaotic, and our mission was to make it more understandable and trustworthy. As we step away, we do so knowing we did the right things, stay true to our principles, and we're a net positive to this industry. Now, there's a little bit more, but it sucks to see. But again, we'll see if other people are able to help this out. Imagine we just buy these, and anybody that is constantly checking the charts, you don't have to anymore. You can just look at a ring to see if things are good, okay, kind of so, or oh, this is not going very well. We got some bulls on the timeline too. Tom Lee saying that Ethereum will bottom this week. Everybody's taking a different stance.
And personally, I think that we're pretty close to bottoming this week.
What makes you stay bullish?
Well, there's the story of building on Ethereum, and we know that there is a lot taking place. There are stablecoin creations. Larry Fink and BlackRock and Wall Street want to tokenize assets, bring stocks, bonds, real estate onto the blockchain, and they have to find a neutral 100% uptime blockchain. That's Ethereum. And that's the fundamental story. The price, of course, for Ethereum will fluctuate because crypto is hyper volatile. In fact, it's kind of it's sort of a feature of the blockchain itself. And I think we've been in a downtrend, unfortunately. A lot of folks are kind of questioning if we're in a 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. So we talk about that in the chairman's message we published this morning, that the most correlated factor to Bitcoin prices when you see it at Bitcoin at a peak actually is the ISM. So I think we're still in a correction phase of crypto. Crypto suffered from that liquidation event on October 10th, but because the fundamental story is intact and we crypto discounts the future, that's why it's volatile, but it still looks pretty attractive here. And personally, I think that we're pretty close to bottoming this week.
All right, there you go. You got the clip. We don't need to listen to the rest of it. Raymond, feels like the very rich are shaking us out on purpose. I mean, all of this is like narrative based, right? Like every single day you go on here and you could go back to like previous streams, and obviously we don't necessarily talk about like price all that often, right? Like we just talk about news. But because everything is so wildly volatile the way that it is, it's just kind of like it is the news. Like it really, really is. And you got some like big time traders that are saying, yo, the craziest crash ever. Well, you have equities doing like fairly well. The Nvidia earnings today, I think it added like 200 billion to its market cap. 200 billion on a single stock. It's crazy. And at the same time, we're having the conversation around NFTs kind of perk up a little bit. And we've also noted that there's been some pretty significant sales on some of your more well-known collections out there. And TokenWorks has been working on a platform. It's kind of making NFTs kind of more accessible in a way, but there's a lot of arguments around it because some people are for it, some people are against it. I've made videos on this. I think that this was something that brought everybody together because it made everybody excited about something and rooting and wanting to pay attention to news. But then obviously we've had a huge cascade, and because everything is priced in crypto and not the US dollar or any sort of stable coin, yeah, it gets wildly wrecked, and then people say, oh, this stuff's awful, but again, we're still here talking about this stuff. Anyway, TokenWorks, the latest update. We're nearing completion and public release of the token strategy platform. Contracts and front end are nearly ready and actively being tested. Designing and developing this platform has been a true labor of love for our team, and we believe crypto's creator community will be delightfully surprised at all the new tech we've been cooking on chain. Which, does that make streams easier, content? We'll see. Very interesting line. New categories, new chains, new strategies built to last forever. Additional information will be released over the next week as we gear up for the public launch. And I don't even know what to comment regarding this because there was two fairly big creators. So Main is somebody that talks about crypto, the price action, all that sort of stuff. I actually watched a couple videos. I just found about him recently and super interesting, but had a ton of their content just destroyed, 20 different videos. And then there's this League of Legends creator that I follow called Don Jake, and he interviewed a bunch of the pros and has been uploading like an interview a day sort of deal. He'd done them over like the past year. And so during the off season here, I'm kind of scheduled for like a interview release a day, which is really, really good. And their channel that's about League of Legends esports, where it's just interviewing players. Whole channel got like completely rinsed. And so everybody's questioning, all right, is YouTube using some kind of like AI censor for this? Does this give room for a competitor to YouTube if these channels are getting slashed? And the other day we highlighted how like Mr. Beast made a comment about like 2% of the world watches YouTube, or 2% of the time the entire world's watching. I forget the exact quote, but it was like something insane about just like the watch time hour and consumption of YouTube content. And if you think people are like addicted to celebrities, content creators, whatever, when they see their favorite creator getting taken down in this way, you have people that really want to stand up and verbalize and will follow them to other platforms. So the likes of Mixer, if you remember when that came out, now nobody talks about Mixer. Certain platforms that maybe could show some love. Well, is that going to be the time that it does? So I want to go back to a RWA segments podcast that we did. This is a recap episode. It was episode 63. It was a while ago, but it was a really interesting quote. So let me play it for you. Well, I was reading on the L1 site before that you guys had like kind of a stat just to highlight how significant it was to the crypto holdings that like 20% of Americans own digital assets and 86% of millennials already do. Is it something where you see, all right, for the younger generations, they're pretty much just going all in on this?
Yes. The young generation, we call them the new gen investors, are very disillusioned with, the traditional, let's call it the 60-40 portfolio. One of the biggest reasons for that is wealth creation opportunities. I mean, our generation hasn't had the same wealth creation opportunities that perhaps our parents and grandparents did. One of those opportunities is, the owning property. It's just very hard now for millennials and younger folks to buy property. And what do you turn to? Well, you turn to, other hard assets, and the assets that we actually understand because we are digital natives. We grew up online. We live and breathe. Everything that we do is online, and now money is online. And so we get it. Naturally, we just get it. And this generation has very self-directed themselves into crypto. And for many, it's been a wealth creation opportunity. And for more and more people, it's about having control over their wealth. It's not just about making a quick buck. It never is. But it's about really having the right to move assets wherever you want to move them, to access products and services that, no bank or brokerage can tell you can't. And, much like you have control over your online identity, you can now have control over your money when it's online. And that's what crypto represents for us.
So that was a conversation back with Miguel Kudry. Now, this entire episode in specific was one that we had multiple clips that I took around, and actually messaged Miguel today being like, yo, we should have a follow-up conversation. He's like, I'm cooking on something. I need a few weeks, but I'm down. So look forward to that. But very interesting lines about how he said that we are self-directing ourselves, or younger folks are, into the crypto landscape. So I noticed this post that was about the Panini blockchain, and TLDR, there was, I guess, something to do with pricing, something they bought, didn't work out, issue, whatever. So Panini went out and just gave like a crazy good, okay, like, yeah, this problem happened. Here we go. Here's a bunch of new packs. And the other day I did a video that was, I guess it was a live stream that was talking about how Panini and the Topps situation is very, very interesting, because Topps is just taking over for NBA, and Panini had the NFL license, but Topps is going to take it over soon, if not have that happen already. I think it was in 2026. I was watching this sports card investor guy a little bit earlier, and it was super insightful. And this just gave me a flashback of like, okay, so we have Topps. And this is for, traditional cards. And going back to like Panini, they really need their blockchain side of things to work. And so keep an eye on the Panini blockchain, just with that aspect that Topps has taken over so much on the digital front. So Cam Scatabo, the New York Giants running back, top draft pick in the past year at the UFC event, pulling a Conor McGregor autograph, again, at the UFC event. But this is to the point of like what collectibles in terms of content and everything else is becoming so massive. It's crazy. And then you have people that are like actually out at these stores that are weighing packs to see which ones potentially have the hollow foil in them and buying those directly. So again, craziness. All right, here's your humeric relief of the evening.
Attention, everybody. I don't need any of your money. I'm actually here providing a free service of investor protection. I just wanted to notify all of you not to make an investment in MicroStrategy stock. It's absolutely imploding right now. You're welcome. So just in exchange for that, no money, could you just please clap it up for me? Thank you. Now you know not to invest in MicroStrategy. Michael Saylor is a borderline criminal.
Okay. Oh my God, Choose Redneck coming out with some absolutely hysterical clips out there. But again, if you don't know, MicroStrategy is the company that's going and buying a ton of Bitcoin and was originally the only way for companies to try to invest in Bitcoin in some sort of way. Obviously, we got ETFs and everything else now, but very, very funny episode, I guess. Do we call it an episode? 30-second clip. Clip's probably a better term. Cameron Winklevoss. This is the guy behind Gemini, co-founder, the big crypto exchange. This is the last time you'll ever be able to buy Bitcoin below $90,000. Now, that was posted, I believe, yesterday, and on the chart today, it went back above 90, and then it went back down. So technically, that was not the last time. We got to point that one out. But think of all of the things that are still happening out there. Polkadot, remember, the Inter Miami Major League Soccer team. They're the sponsor of the training kit. Okay, I understand it's not the main kit. There's a huge difference between practice and not. But when it's Messi and DePaul, you're going to get those clicks. Look at that. 8,000 views. Oh, whopping 8,000 views. Now, to be fair, this is not like the main account from them. This is like a news source for Inter Miami. But either way, listen, they're getting that exposure. And on the content game, people are doing everything under the sun. Do you remember Pawn Stars? Well, Ronin Network has been doing something particularly specific with the stars around it. So videos of like first edition Charizard or a Mystic Axis. You get kind of an idea. We'll watch a few of them.
First, it is a digital collectible NFT, an Axie, a Mystic Axie from the Axie Infinity game.
Hold on a second. Just hold right there. Chubb, this guy has an Axie?
A Mystic Axie from Axie Infinity. Are you familiar with that at all?
I am. These things can go for a lot of money, Rick.
This one is very rare. It is a Sky Mavis Mystic from Axie Infinity. The Sky Mavis Mystic Axie is one of the rarest Axies in the entire game. I believe there's only about 34 examples of this specific trait within the collection.
Rick, if you get this, you might even grow some hair.
I don't think that's going to make me grow some hair, but like, are these desirable?
They're pretty desirable, especially when you get like to a Mystic like that.
This Mystic Axie can be used within the Axie Infinity ecosystem, whether it be the battle game or the land game.
What are you looking to get for it?
This particular asset I'm valuing at, it's a pawn shop.
So they have like a whole bunch of different ones, right? But what do you think? L, W, kind of cool. Need to be into Axie. What's the thought overall? And then VGF also uploaded this video of them working in Argentina with MetaMask. Again, we highlighted some of the stuff the other day from him, but here's a video that he uploaded.
I'm excited for this. I can't believe you choose me. I feel so thankful.
This is Romina. She stepped up to assist in working with us at Sub-Zero this weekend and was such an incredible help and boost of energy behind the scenes. In chatting with her, we realized she had absolutely no experience with crypto, let alone have her own wallet.
There you go.
So we thought, what better way to onboard her than with a thank you gift?
I'm a personal information.
Yeah. As thanks and to show our appreciation, we'd like to give you this 250 MUSD from MetaMask Card Experiences and me.
Guys, amazing! I feel, we should spend more time together. We should.
Like VGF, you're great. Thank you, sir. But have you looked at MetaMask lately and tried to like install a new wallet? It basically forces you to use like your Apple or Google ID. I don't know if you can actually just get like a normal seed phrase anymore. It's really, I don't know how to feel about it. And then listen, so you have Winklevoss saying, this is not going lower. And then across the entire timeline, everybody's like bottom. Yep, market's bottomed out. You have Michael Saylor saying believe. You have Dave Portnoy buying $2 million in crypto. And then this comes across your timeline and you're like, nah, this is crazy.
Hi guys, it's Florence here with Berwick Law. Remember Hawk Tua? If you lost money on Hawk, you're not alone. Berwick Law represents plaintiffs in a federal class action lawsuit involving losses on the Hawk token. Today, we filed a request to file a new complaint in court alleging fraud and consumer protection claims against the creators of the Hawk token. We also filed a motion for alternative service, seeking to formally serve defendants using alternative means such as email, NFT wallet airdrop, or Twitter DMs. Leave any comments down below and follow to stay updated. Thanks, guys.
Oh my God. Think about that. We just watched 25 minutes of the craziest ads, pieces, excitement, joy, sadness. I don't actually know if anything was sad amongst that. But these are the things that are going on in the industry. Every single day, you got to wake up, open your computer, your phone, and you're just stunned at what you see. Things continue to happen. Appreciate you guys following along. Of course, if you want to listen to the RWA Segments podcast, whether you want to go back to the episode of that clip we shared earlier or hearing the latest conversations, links down in the description below on YouTube or on my bio on X, or if you type in RWA Segments with an I instead of an E in segment, you'll be able to find that all. Raymond, Mr. Alex.